Okay. Good morning, YouTube family. Happy crappy hour is about to start. I made a mistake earlier and oh no, I hope that setting is still, ooh, I hope the setting is okay. But I lost you guys. I apologize about that. I hope you're coming back on. This is not what I intended to do. Hey, you guys, I hope that you're able to hop back on. So I'm sorry about that. I had a technical difficulty here. I hope this setting doesn't do that again to us. If it does, okay, I'm just hoping that it doesn't. Good to see you, agriculturists. Andreen, hi. All right, you guys. Today we're going to talk about if you're still missing the narcissist and you find that you cannot let go. I had several comments earlier, and I apologize that I missed out on that. Mike, yeah, what happened, right? I think it's a setting that I had. There was a commercial that tried playing on my screen. I don't know if it was playing on your screen, but maybe I'm supposed to let it go. I don't know. But let me know if you see a commercial suddenly cut in on us and breaks us off. And I hope that doesn't happen again. So you guys, and then it just kind of threw off my whole live stream when I was trying to skip it, trying to turn it off. So that's what happened. Dream says, I hope the third time is a charm. I think this is our second try, but yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, anyway. What craziness this morning, you guys. So I was trying to tell you that I had a pretty hard week this week. That's my crappy. We were supposed to go to Bryce Canyon, and we were like, oh, so excited. It's been a long time since we had a vacation, and we've actually been wanting to go for like 15 years. So come to find out, okay, we have two cars that we could use, right, to go to Bryce Canyon. Well, one of the cars, we were told the engine mount, it was broken. So we're like, oh, okay. We took it to the mechanic, and he's like, yeah, I have to fix this engine mount. You shouldn't really be driving very long with this. So we put it into the shop. Then our second car, we were driving to, we were helping a friend move, and we put some furniture in it. And the good news is we did get to our friend's place and we're able to move their furniture for them. And then on our way back home, the car starts smoking like crazy. Like out the back window, we can see like the entire back window is filled with smoke. And we're like, no. So we pulled over immediately, and all of the oil, at least that's what it looked like, dumped out of our car. So we're on the highway, we're on the interstate. Cars are zooming past us like crazy. I'm scared to death, because there's construction and there's not much of a shoulder. So there's about 1.5 feet between the door and the barrier where that's on my far right, and then to the passenger side, and then there's about 1.5 feet to the lane next to us, and cars are just zooming by, and luckily most of them were getting over to the farther lane, so they were trying to stay away from us, which was good. But anyway, yeah, take that car in, come to find out, some oil line burst, and anyway, long story short, we did not make it to Bryce Canyon because both cars in 1 week just like died on us, or became incapacitated. So yeah, that was pretty horrible. And then yeah, on top of that, oh my gosh, then we looked at the weather. We're like, okay, you know what, we're gonna push through, we're gonna rent a car. We were trying to think of anything at all to try to get through. And we looked at the weather, and Bryce Canyon was having this horrible weather early this week, right? That's when we were supposed to go. And I was like, you know what? This is 3 times. Maybe, God's telling us something, like maybe we shouldn't go. So we ended up staying home. Anyway, that was my crappy. But the good thing is we had friends come over and we played games, and that was nice. So there's my happy. It worked out, right? But, Bryce Canyon's going to have to wait another year, maybe another 15 years. Anyway, you guys. Let me see who all is in here. Jordani, Oh, good to see you. Better now. Good morning. First time in the group chat. Hello, survivors from Ottawa. Nice to see you. Canada. Ah, so glad to have you. And your first time in the group. I'm so glad to see you. Agriculturist. Oh, Canada. Wishing to travel there someday. Yeah, I cannot talk about travel right now. It's kind of a sore point for me. Mike says, good morning, Jordani. Ah, you guys, look at you. How Narcs fake crying. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? The fake crying, let me address that real quick before we hop on to the subject of the day. The fake crying from a narcissist is manipulation. It's them. Uh, I'm not sure that men do this as much, but I know that women narcs do this. Who is this who is asking me? Lighthouse. But both use this. They know that if they can get you to think that they are being vulnerable with you, then you're going to be more forgiving, you're going to be more giving, and you're going to allow them to take more liberties against you because you're going to feel sorry for them. You're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hurt you. When an art starts to fake cry, though, and it's hard to tell when someone, you don't want to just assume right away that it's a fake cry. So give them a little sympathy, but check yourself if they are trying to get more out of you than you're willing to give. Say if they weren't crying, would you be willing to give them whatever it is they're asking of you? More time, sexual favors, maybe they're cozying up to you a little too much. Are they asking for money? Are they asking for your sympathy? It's one thing to give somebody sympathy, and it's another thing to give them something you don't want to give. So always be aware of that. Like, come into relationships knowing this is as far as I'm willing to give, as far as finances, time, that type of thing. Before you, I'm not saying to be stingy, but I'm saying there's a limit to what we're willing to give. And when people start to go beyond that our limit, then that crosses into our boundary. They start to take more liberties against us. The more we give to them, the more we tolerate, right? So we want to make sure that we don't tolerate behavior that kind of steals from us, that robs us. So it may not even be finances that they want. It may be physical. They may be manipulating you into a physical relationship that you did not intend to start with them, or you didn't intend to go there that day. You're like, no, I'm not feeling good. I don't want to do this. So I just want to let you know the fake crying is manipulation. Dreen, hi, Jordani. Half of me is Canadian. Nice. Let me see. Agriculture says, never heard of Bryce Canyon before. Had to Google it. Looks beautiful. I know, right? It looks amazing. I hear it's, there people argue about this, but I hear that it's more amazing than the Grand Canyon. So I was like, just because it's so beautiful, the colors, so different than the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is crazy amazing. But yeah, so I did not make it there, you guys, whoever is coming on now. That was my crappy this week. 2 cars dying on us, not to mention the cost, right, of that. So bye-bye vacation money. Yeah, it kind of stunk. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We got to go back to square one, save again for the next vacation, or a real vacation, right? That was my crappy. And the good news, though, there are crappies that happen in our life, but sometimes we have to roll with it. Sometimes things happen and they're unexpected, and you can get really mad and upset. And I got to tell you, my husband and I handled it, I think, really well. We were not frustrated with each other. We didn't take it out on one another. We worked as a team. We weren't mad at the people we had to deal with. One particular place who did an oil change for us recently, and we thought, maybe it had something to do with them messing up the oil change. And and they were polite with us, we were polite with them. It all worked out. Nobody was mad at anybody. Turned out it wasn't the oil change place. It was a different area of the oil tubes. I don't even know what to tell you. The line, it had burst at a connection that had nothing to do with oil changes. So I'm glad we didn't get upset with them or anything like that, or accusing or anything. We just wanted to know, hey, can you guys check this out? Because we don't know what happened. So worked out. We kept our cool. But let me tell you, the next day, it was a whole long day. It was really waiting for the tow truck, towing to the oil place, only to find out that wasn't the case. So then we had to get another tow to our mechanic, who was, in our town. We were not in our town. We were about, I want to say, an hour and a half away. So, I mean, it was stress, so much. And we could have started bickering at each other and getting mad at each other, but we didn't. Just didn't see the point of it. I'm at a stage now where I want to fix things. Like I want a solution. I want to know what the solution is. I don't want to make the situation worse, because that's not a solution. And losing your cool just makes the situation worse. So, I learned a lot during that time. That was a really big stressful moment for us. We knew financially this is terrible. We knew, that's another thing. Worrying about the future does not help the situation. So don't worry about the future. Don't, lose your cool, get all emotional and crazy. Just think about, what can you do to fix this? Like, what is the next step we need to do? Who do we need to talk to? And that serves you in so many ways, especially with narcissists, right? So you're sitting there and you're thinking, why am I missing this narcissist? What can I do? Let's think about that. Let's not give in to our emotions, right? Let's not give in to the crazy making that they created and are trying to keep us in. Let's not give in to our illusion of what we might be missing. We want to look at reality. We want to look at what's in front of us. So that is what's going to help you move past missing the narcissist and wanting them back. This is what's going to help you. Okay, I'm going to get into that some more and more details of that, you guys. We talked about, hold on, you guys, let me go back. Because we had 13 minutes earlier of mess up at the beginning of this, and we stopped it and came back, I'm missing some of the comments that we had before. So let me just go back and see. Yeah, agriculturist. We were talking about, the fake cry. Yes, agriculture says pity play. Yes, it is a pity play, the fake crying. And they really go deep, they really do, and it's not just narcissists who can do this. There are moments where you might feel incredibly traumatized by something you remembered, something came up, and you just feel awful and you'll cry. But you're not doing it to manipulate somebody. You're doing it because you were thrown back into a moment that was very traumatizing and very painful. And it conjures up, the pain in your heart, and, you can't stop but cry. Sometimes that happens when you tell your story, when you tell somebody else about what happened to you, when they are learning to get to know you or whatnot, and you're like, well, yeah, I went through this, and even if you're commiserating, you're trying to help this other person understand, I've been where you've been, and you just start to share your story, and it catches you off guard, and you just start crying because you thought you dealt with that pain before, but it comes back. But the narcissist crying, it's so weird. It's like at the weirdest times. It doesn't make sense, the times that they cry. Like it could be, they walk into a room and suddenly they just get very intimate and very deep. And you're like, where is this coming from? And they just start, and they'll cry, possibly not even about anything bad. And you're like, why are you even crying? This is not even a horrible thing that you're crying about. They're just very emotional. Part of it's because they're manipulating you. And especially if it's a woman with a man. I think of this because a lot of times men want to feel needed. They want to feel like they can rescue you. They want to be the hero. So if a woman cries, then the man's going to step up. He's going to protect. He's going to try to help. And he becomes more manipulated, right? Because now that she knows that he's stepping up and he's giving her attention and he's feeling sorry and giving her sympathy, she's going to step it up and start making demands. And that's where I want you to know, be careful of what you're willing to give and what you're not. So you guys, let me go into here. Jordani says, today I saw the narc at my kid's school. I didn't feel good at all. I know they are planning something. I need to learn to control my emotions around them. Yes, yes. Think of, what's the solution? That's my mindset a lot recently, or, in the last year, really. I've always been solutions oriented, but I've let my emotions get in the way. And now I'm thinking, I realize that emotions don't help. They just don't. Emotions are great for warning you. You start to feel tinges or cringes, or you start to feel things and your emotions come in and something's good or something's bad or something's wrong or there's danger ahead. And that is good for emotions, right? To use your emotions for that, for you to see as warnings, right? But emotions in a stressful situation, not good. That's where you want to just go gray rock, they say, right? Show no emotion, hold it back. Even if there is a storm going on inside of you, you don't need to verbalize. You don't need to show it. You don't need to act it out. Just put that storm aside, and it sounds bad, but just hold it for a minute, put it on pause for a moment, and just get through the moment until you can get out of that situation. If it's a situation with your narcissist, with the narcissistic ex, then you definitely want to keep your cool until you are out of their sight, away from them, and then you can reassess when the place is safe. Okay, let me see what else is being said here. Yeah, it's easier said than done, Dreen says. But the thing is, you practice it. You practice it in your everyday life, right? Being around a narcissist is going to trigger a lot of things inside of us. And that's why I read that excerpt from the book. Oh, wait, did I read this excerpt for this time around? I don't even remember, you guys. This morning has really... Okay, I'm not sure if I had shown this earlier, but let me show this again here. This is a book that I'm reading right now. It's called Unwanted by Jay Stringer, How Sexual Brokenness Reveals Our Way to Healing. And it's written, he's got studies in here. He's got psychologists talking. Anyway, it's a pretty good book. I'm not quite sure that I'm recommending it yet. It's pretty deep. It's pretty heavy stuff. But it helps you to think about, what am I holding on to from my past, the traumas that happened in my past that I'm acting out now in my bad choices, right? You start to make bad choices in relationships because of traumas that you had in the past, even that you don't even realize were traumas. But it's your mind starts to try to fix whatever was lacking in your past by bringing in stuff sometimes that are unhealthy now in your present. Anyway, so you guys, it's an interesting book. Let me see what we're talking about here, you guys. Some more. Lighthouse says, what do you think of H.G. Tudor? What is his main goal by publishing videos about exposing narcs? Oh, I don't know, you guys. I've heard that name a few times and people throwing it around. I don't know. I have not watched his stuff. Agriculturist says, never saw him cry, meaning her ex, but he made that sad puppy face while telling me about his cheating exes who always left him. Yeah, it's possible that men can't conjure up tears as easily as women, sadly, right? A lot of times they're not that connected to their emotions that they can do it, but they will try to get your sympathy. Jordani says, thank you, Escape from Crazytown. I really like your videos. They helped a lot. Yes, I'm working on that. I'm so glad. Jordani says, I don't know your name. Sorry about that. Oh, no, that's fine. You can call me Escape from Crazytown by the channel name. You can call me Oscar. This is that little guy right there. His name's Oscar. And you can call me Escape. That works too. Yes, and how to overcome hopelessness and indifference. So, you guys, here's the thing. When you're missing the narcissist, you have to ask yourself, okay, we're going to get to solutions, right? So, you have to ask yourself, why am I missing the narcissist? What is it that I'm missing? And a lot of times it's that, we miss the good times. We think that we can recover the good times if we get the narcissist back. And that is not exactly being in reality, because reality is going to show us that the narcissist is gone. The narcissist has unplugged. The narcissist has discarded and also has abused. So you have to stay connected to reality, what the real picture is, and not go back to the illusion of a narcissist who, made up a fantasy for you to stay in. Now, what you're going to miss is that fantasy. And I want to say that there are things that are hard for us to let go, because it's possible that the narcissist had awakened something in you. It's possible that they made you feel more alive than you have felt with other people, because a lot of times they're very um, adventurous, I want to say, or they're very into life. They're into enjoying life. They want to do things that are fun. They don't really think about consequences. So it seems pretty exciting, right? That they're just going ahead and doing, and you want to follow, and they're pulling you along at first, and it's an amazing adventure and so much fun. So that might be something that you're missing too, because you're looking at your life now and you're thinking, but things are so boring and I don't have, plans anymore. All these plans that they had to go and do and see, I'm not involved in those plans anymore. And then another thing you have to think about is why? Why aren't you making these plans for yourself? If these are the things that you're missing, it actually almost has nothing to do with the narcissist. It almost is like you're missing um, a sinking ship. I want to go to this because the narcissist is a freaking sinking ship, and they may even have already sunk. They may already be way underwater, and you're missing this. It's like missing this luxury boat or yacht, right? Let's say the narcissist was this luxury yacht that made life exciting and fun and fulfilling for a time, but it starts to sink. It's taking on water, and everything that the water touches on that boat is getting ruined, is getting destroyed. And if you're missing the narcissist, it's like you wanting to stay on this sinking ship. It's like you saying, but look at this beautiful woodwork and this master bedroom on this yacht, and how gorgeous all of the things that are on this yacht are. How can I let this go? What a life of luxury. Everybody who saw me on this yacht was jealous and thought that I made it, and I felt like I made it. I was living really high. But now the reality, though, is that it's taking on water. And your options, what are your options? You're looking at the water, you're looking at the ocean, and you're thinking, if I jump off of this yacht, then I'm going to end up in the water. What the heck? That doesn't seem like a whole lot better. I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be in this frigid water. I don't even know if there's sharks in this water. I don't know what's out there, what other dangers there might be, right? So you're thinking, I'm going to cling to this ship. I'm going to stay on this ship. But the problem with staying on a sinking ship is when they actually go completely under, there's like this vortex that they create in the water that sucks you down with it. Like you can't, now it's too late to swim away from it. It will suction you down with it. So you want to get off of there. And even if you end up in the water and there's nothing around you, you can probably find something. And this is in reality. In reality, we have people we don't even realize are part of our life. We do have a life preserver. We have, even if they're small, acquaintance-like relationships, those are still connections to reality. And that's what we need. We need to stay connected to reality. We need to stay connected to um, life and being among the living. I want to read this to you again. I know that I read this earlier at the beginning, but for those of you who are just coming on, there's this part that talks in this book I'm reading right now called Unwanted by Jay Stringer. He quotes a psychiatrist and researcher named Judith Herman, and she writes about trauma and traumatized people. And she wrote that when trust is lost, traumatized people feel that they belong more to the dead than to the living. And that really struck a chord in me, because what I want is for us to be among the living. We want to stay connected to reality, because if you don't stay connected to reality, you're going to miss the narcissist. You're going to fall back into those dreams and illusions and fantasy that never was real. You experienced it for a time, and it's like spending a week on a luxury, on a cruise. And that's great for a time, right? But it's not sustainable. You're not going to stay there forever. Enjoy the good times that you had, but then once it is gone, once this ship has sunk, you have to let it go. You have to let that narcissist go, or the narcissist and that trauma is going to suction you down into the depths of the ocean with it. You don't want that. Okay, you guys, let me go see what you guys have here. Agriculturist said, I have to see the narc for a 2-day business trip in 2 weeks. I'm afraid that he's his best self again during this. Not talking is no option. What do you recommend? Ooh, agriculturist. You know what? I don't know if you can do this, or put some notes on your phone, or even write it on your hand. I write on my arm and hand all the time with ink markers, ink pens. But make a note to yourself that will remind you of the terrible thing that the narcissist is. Like if they're a liar, write liar. If they're a cheater, write cheater. If this person is an abuser, write abuser. If they're self-centered, write self-centered. Like, put notes somewhere that you can look at quickly. Even though you're interacting with them, it will snap you back to reality. Like, even if they're very charming, even if, so write fake, so you remember what reality is, even though you have to interact with them, even though it seems very fun. And here's the thing too, you have to learn how to interact and how to, how do you say this? It may not be a genuine interaction. It may just be getting to the socializing thing. Learn how to socialize without getting emotionally pulled in. So remember that. You're just socializing because you have to. You have to talk to the narcissist. Maybe you have to talk to them about work. And if you guys go out with the rest of your office or whoever you're with there, do not be alone with them. Don't sit next to them. Don't be alone with them. Sit as far away from them as you can, and have that note on your hand or in your phone, wherever you can put that note that others are not going to see, okay? You're going to want to be able to refer back to it and see the word fake, self-centered, abuser, cheater, liar. You are going to want to be snapped back into reality when they start to look so charming, right? Okay. What else do we have here? Mike says, how do I move on? I am tired of being character assassinated. Oh, well, let me ask you this, Mike. The character assassination, you kind of have to let go of the people who believe the narcissist. Like, there's not much you can do about that. You got to just let that go. And whatever and you can't be paying attention to who the narcissist is talking to. I'm sorry. That happens. You know what? This is one of those cases where being oblivious is bliss, right? Not knowing what they are doing is going to bring you peace of mind. So the only time you're going to know that someone is affected by this narcissist talking badly about you you'll notice it too. You'll be like, okay, that's weird. This person's kind of cold towards me, and I didn't even do anything. Just let it be. Just let them be, you know? But here's the deal: be yourself, be positive, be confident, be kind, be respectful to whoever is treating you whatever way. And then they're going to be like, well, that's weird because the narc is telling me all this crap about Mike. And yet, Mike is actually a really nice guy. They'll start to see that the narcissist is either lying, or if they're a true flying monkey for the narcissist, they're not going to believe anything you say anyway. You just keep being yourself. You be true to who you are, and you live out your life the way you would want to live it out, regardless of what other people are doing, regardless of what other people are believing, regardless of that. And one of the things that gets me thinking, let me explain something to you. A few years ago, I was thinking about this because I had a really hard time letting go of what people thought of me. I had a really hard time picking myself up, because what I would do is I would take on their condemnation. I would take on their criticism, their judgment of me. And I was like, oh, how do I couldn't even move. I felt like I was paralyzed by all this shame and all this condemnation, right? That I thought, and it's very possible it was really happening, um, but probably not to the degree that I was feeling it. I was probably feeling it deeper than what was really thought of me. Okay. So this is what I did. I looked to people in the public eye who are receiving this kind of condemnation, regardless of what they're doing. There are people, who are in the public eye. They could be famous movie stars, they could be politicians, they can be sports, they could be athletes who suddenly the world just turns against. It seems like the world is turning against them, right? But they still have some people who believe in them and trust them and know that they're good people. But they may have done something publicly that suddenly people just became very critical of. Now, suddenly they're getting, back in the day, it used to just be people criticizing them and thinking they're a jerk. Now, people are actually sending death threats. They're not just receiving criticism, they're receiving death threats. And I'm like, man, how do these guys and women, how do these people hold their head up? How do they still go on with their life? How do they continue to live, even though they know thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people are hating on them and sending them like bad karma, right? Bad juju, and wishing them ill, and now sending them death threats? How do they move forward? How do they not take on that shame and condemnation? I look at that and I think it's because they have to be true to who they are. They have to know who they are at their core, regardless of what other people mistake about them, what lies people believe about them, what gossip people believe about them. They have to let it go. And people are ruthless. Think about that. Here we are in our small corner of the world, right? And we feel condemnation from maybe 4 or 5 people. Here are these public figures taking on condemnation from thousands of people, if not tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. And how, it's not fair, right? Like, life is not fair. It's not fair that this is happening, especially to people who are innocently going through all of this, and they didn't cause any of the horrible lies and gossip that's happening about them. But they can't control it either. They can't make other people believe the truth. All they can do is live true to themselves. So, Mike, that's what I would say to you is stop looking over at the narcissist. Stop looking at the people that your ex is talking to. It just doesn't matter. They can have their world. If you're the center of their world and all they can talk about is you, and they're just obsessed with your life, and they want to condemn you, let them. Like, good, boy, your life must be so boring. You want to look at them and say, their life must be so boring that they have to focus on your life. Boy, let them do that. Now you move on. You move on with your life. You have to turn away from them. You have to turn your head physically away from them when you see them. You have to avoid them on social media and all that, and start your own life. Start your own new group of friends. Start making new connections. So that's what I would suggest to you, Mike. That's how you would move on, even when somebody is slandering you. George, good to see you. I'm just catching up here, you guys. Missing a bunch of comments. Jordani says, it sucks when you have a kid with them, right? I triggered something in the narcissist, that's for sure. Now his mom and new supply are all against me. New supply seems so jealous. I don't know why. So weird. Yeah, it's creepy. But that's the triangulation. The new supply is jealous partly because the narcissist wants them to be jealous. Because what good are they what good are you still in their life if they can't triangulate with you, right? With the new supply. So they're going to talk about you, which is the crazy thing again. They're going to talk about you with the new supply. And the new supply is going to be like, why are you always talking about your ex? Why are you, somebody mentioned something recently in one of my videos. They said that their ex would make small comments like, my other boyfriends didn't do this. None of my other boyfriends did this when they were together. And at the time, he didn't notice that she's making these little jabs, right, at him. And he'd let it go. He's like, whoa, that didn't feel good, what she just said. And I think that might be happening with your ex and the new supply. He is probably saying things about you. When the new supply does something that he doesn't like, he might say, well, my ex didn't ever do that. My ex always let me go out with the guys. He might be lying to them completely, right? And that's probably why the supply is jealous, because your ex narcissist, blah, blah. Sorry about that. Your narcissistic ex is triangulating with them. So that was Jordani. Yeah, Danny says, stay connected to reality. That's how we get through missing them and not being able to let go. Think, have that image in your head of a sinking ship. Like, do I really want to stay in this sinking ship? And imagine this. Reality is, there's a lifeboat right next to the ship. There's a little rubber dinghy or whatever they call that, right? Little lifeboat next to the sinking yacht, this beautiful yacht. Luxury, there's luxury, there's money, there's all this incredible stuff on the yacht, but it's sinking. And next to it, there's this little rubber dinghy. Doesn't look like much, but it's going to get you to safety. It's going to get you to your destination. It's going to get you to be able to live your future, right? A future life that you don't even know what's there awaiting you. Like amazing, beautiful things could be awaiting you in your future. If you get on this life raft, you can get there. But if you stay on this sinking yacht, you're never going to get to this beautiful, amazing future life that you have waiting for you. But that's up to you. So anyway, when you start to see the narcissist and when you start to miss them, imagine this. Imagine that in your, have something like a visual like that for you and say, I'm getting out of here. No, I'm not staying. Why the heck would I stay? All right, you guys, let me see who is here. Jordani, great tips, Escape. I will do that. I also like to write on my hands. Oh, yes, right. I know. I was like, oh, there it is. I'm old school, people. I got to write on my hands. The bad thing, though, is that I've started using coconut oil, and coconut oil removes all the writing. So sometimes I'm like, no, what did I write? It's gone now. Anyway, Diva R, good to see you. Hi. And Mike Smith says hi to Diva. Corinne, good to see you. Good morning, and great idea about the reminder phrases and words. Yes, keep those at the front of your mind. Okay, if you can do it just in your head, that's great. but I need visuals. I need to write things on my hand. I need to put it on my phone. Like I text myself all the time. That's another thing that I do. So when a good thought or something, or I watch something and I'm like, oh, I really want to keep that as a reminder, or read an article or something like that online, I will text it to myself so that I can go back to my text and check it. And oh, yeah. So you might do that. In fact, I tell you what, create a fake name. Oh, wait, how do I do this? I don't know. You can text to something fake. So yeah, just text it to yourself, but give it a title like, you know, big fat liar or something like that, right? So start with BFL, big fat liar. And then after BFL, you write whatever comments you have for that person, for your ex, so that when you see that text, or when you want to go through your text real quick that you sent to yourself, you'll see, oh yeah, BFL. Okay, I got to read this to remind myself. So that's another thing that I do. Let me see what all you guys are saying. Just hello to each other, so that's great. Diva R says, I don't care what FMs think, flying monkeys think about me. They are weaker than the narc. Yeah, an FM is a flying monkey. Rahel, good to see you. It's been a while. So yeah, people are asking, what are FMs? FMs are flying monkeys. I've been told, oh my gosh, Mike. Yeah, okay. He says, I've been told to commit suicide. I'm sorry, I'm going to get a little crude here. Screw those people. Screw them. That pisses me off. It really does. That people will say crap like that. It brings out this warrior inside of me, and I want to fight against that type of crap. I do. It's like, no. Mike, let me tell you what. I would fight these people for you. I'm telling you. Where do I begin with this? When I am such an anti-bully person that when I see bullying like this happen, oh, it brings out a bear inside of me. I just want to like, oh yeah, you got to get through me to get to him. I tell you what. And that's what I want to say to you, Mike. They have to go through me to get to you. Because heck no, do not listen to that crap. That is a lie. That is their problem. They want you to do that. Screw them. Like, no, I turn it back to them. Not that I want them to commit suicide or anything like that, but I'm like, you take that back. You take it back and you deal with it. This other person, whoever said it to you, they can deal with it. If they have that horrible of a disgusting soul inside of them, they can handle it. They can deal with it. It is not for you to carry. Whatever they want to try to lay on top of you, whatever they are trying to burden you with or put on your back, screw it. That's how I am. You guys are hearing me now. Like, I am so riled up because that pisses me off that somebody would say that to another person. Like, screw them. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm so protective of people who are being targeted like this, and I'm being protective of you. And I want to tell you, look, do not accept that from them. Just turn it away. This is what I do too. I'm like, I'm reverting it back to you. Whoever sent that to me, I'm reverting it back to you. You deal with this horrible, disgusting black soul that brought you to say something like this. You deal with it. I refuse to take it. And say that, Mike. Say it out loud. It's so freeing, and it allows for you to like shut the door on it. Like, the heck with this. I'm shutting the door. There's no way I'm letting that crap in to my home. So that's what I would do, Mike. It's crap. Yeah, stay no contact. Rahel is saying, George Dean, good to see you. Let me see what you said. I really dislike my ex now, but I can't stop thinking about her. But I know she's absolutely no good for me. Takers and givers. Yes. Yeah. Yep. We can dislike them, but then we still feel at times, if you're, let me give you a little bit of hope. There will come a time when you look back, and you're going to not feel that tinge anymore, that pull anymore. You're not going to feel the nostalgia anymore. You'll be able to incorporate what was good and what the experience brought out in you that was good. Like it might have awakened you. It might have made you feel more alive. Okay. You may have had some of that in your experience. The sex might have been like phenomenal. But let me tell you, so what you do is you take that with you. You take the good with you. You take the part that changed you for the better with you. The other crap, you just leave with the narcissist. You're like, thank you for what you did teach me, and you can have the crazy back. Like you have to separate. You have to sift through the garbage, right? To get to the valuable stuff, the lessons that you learned, the things that you found out about yourself that was better than you knew, the strength that you had that you didn't know you even have until you met the narcissist, right? The excitement in your life that you didn't even realize you could have, you can now take with you. So all the things you're missing about the narcissist, and when you look back that way and you're missing them, it's actually all this stuff that belongs already to you. It's already a part of you. And if you went back to the narcissist, you would not have it because they don't have it. They don't have that to give. You already have it inside of you. So what you need to do is then you plug into life again. You plug into reality. You plug into people who are life givers, right? And not takers. And that's where you're going to bring all the all the treasures that you accumulated, that you learned about yourself. You're going to bring that into your new relationships, and it's going to be so beautiful and so amazing. That's why sometimes I know people don't want to hear it, but sometimes, and maybe not just sometimes, I think the narcissist can bring something good into your life, but they were only meant to be there temporarily to teach you this lesson, and then you have to let them go. Because if you hold on to them, you are going to destroy yourself. Like they are not meant to stay forever in your life to reteach you this lesson over and over and over again. In fact, they are so destructive that they will take you down. And the lesson and everything that was good, the treasures that they were meant to deposit in your life, will be taken away as well. Just like that yacht, right? That luxury yacht, all the treasures that were there. You can take a few things like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I really enjoyed, I don't know, boating. I didn't realize that I enjoyed whatever it is that you did with the narcissist. Now you know you enjoy those things. The narcissist might have introduced you to rock climbing, might have introduced you to traveling, might have introduced you to, secret little places in town that, restaurants and what, music venues. You didn't know, oh, I didn't know I liked jazz. Now you know. Go and enjoy it. Go find people who are healthy minded and go in and enjoy those things. So you guys, that's what I would say. Let me see what else we have going on here. Rahel says, yes, George, the snake bite leaves poison. You're going to detox. I'm the same. Yeah. Hey, you guys, I don't know. I feel so bad. I'm going to say this here. I have had some viewers that have come on, and I forgot to mention them because I'm scrolling and scrolling. I get so far behind, and I forget to say hello to them. And if you see my regulars, and you guys kind of know who they are, you've seen them here before. If you run into in other places, please tell them that I miss them. One person particularly comes to mind right now. Her name is Kathy, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to say hi to her last time. But if you see some of my regulars, please tell them I say hi. And that, yeah, anyway. Mike Smith says, well, they claim they know me, but it's very clear they don't. Exactly. They don't know you. The heck with this, Do not listen to toxic people because they are not life givers. They are life takers. Yeah, my agriculturist says it's hard to wrap my head around the fact that the person I got to know does not exist and that it's always the same pattern for all his supply, that he's never changing, never realizing what he does. Yeah, it is hard. It's very hard. And that's another reason why sometimes we can't let go because we're convinced, well, if they, they're going to be able to come out of it. They're going to be able to see one day. Oh, let me give you some examples or reasons why we don't let go. There are three, let me see, how many did I write down? Four. There are four reasons that I thought about why we don't let go of the narcissist. One is you feel like you're going to miss out. You feel like they are just about to change. They're just about to make all these improvements in their life. And if I leave now, if I don't let them come back, I'm going to miss out. And it's like a bad investment that you think is about to turn around and become profitable. And you think, oh my gosh, if I let go of him now or her now, I'm going to miss out on this beautiful, amazing, exciting, adventurous, love-filled life. But that's a lie, right? That's why we don't let go, because we have a hard time believing that they are not going to turn around. We have a hard time believing the reality, which is this is a pattern with them. They're not changing. It's like watching a bad stock tanking, and it goes up a little bit, right? A little blip, but it's on a downward slide. You can see the trend is downward with little moments of blips going up. But you're thinking every time the blip goes up, oh, it's going to hit a high. It's going to keep going up. But the trend is absolutely downward. So you're not facing reality. The trend is downward. There may be moments of positivity, moments that are good, but that is not the trend. And when you grab onto those moments and you think it's going to take you up higher, what you end up doing is it starts, you hold on and it keeps tanking and tanking and tanking. Number two, why we don't let go is we believe that someone else is going to reap the benefits of the narcissist's growth or change. So yeah, a little bit of jealousy there. Like, I did all this work, I put in all this time to make this person a better person, to help them through all their bad characteristics, all their bad habits. I was there through their addictions. They're almost over this addiction. And now the next person is going to reap the rewards of all the work that I had done with the narcissist. That's another lie. Because if you look at them, you can see they did not kick the addiction. They have not changed. They give you, they make micro changes. I don't know what you want to call it, but they make small changes that go back and then they just revert back. You watch their patterns and you see that their pattern is they're not changing. But you don't want somebody else to reap the benefits of all that you invested into this person. So that's number two, why we don't let go. Number three, why we don't let go. We think we're going to be alone. We think that's it. Like, if I'm not with this narcissist, what else have I, okay, unlike the narcissist who has supply lined up, right, before they discard you, they're going to have another ship to jump to. Unlike them, we don't have another ship, right, or another supply to jump to, which is good because that is very unhealthy, by the way. That's a very unhealthy pattern. But we think we're going to jump into this unknown. We're going to jump into this life raft and nobody's on it. I'll be by myself, floating around by myself in the ocean. I don't want to go. And we're scared. We're scared of being alone. But the reality is there's so much healing to be done when you're alone. You can now focus on yourself. You don't have to ask the narcissist if it's okay for you to go get a manicure, if it's okay for you to go golfing, if it's okay for you to spend some time with the guys or go to happy hour with your coworkers. You don't have to ask the narc for these things anymore. You get to choose for yourself what you want to do each day. And while you're alone, you can start picking up books that will teach you boundaries, And I'm going to put that here again, you guys. The biggest thing is learning healthy boundaries. You're going to learn how to be more healthy minded. You're going to learn how to be a problem solver rather than a crazy maker, right? Like the narcissist. We don't want our emotions to go in and make things more crazy. We want to actually solve the problems in our life. And then we get to be better at that when you're alone because you learn so much. You don't have to be distracted by the narcissist crazy world. You can actually focus on building your life, building your career, building your character, building your own inner strength. So many good things when you're alone. So that's number 3, why we don't let go. Number 4, why we don't let go is you think that you're letting go of the good times. Like you don't want to let go of the good times. You're like, but those were the best times in my life when I felt the most alive, when I felt the most adventure, when I felt the most happy, when I had the best sex, right? I don't want to let that go. But the reality of that is that the narcissist is no longer capable of giving you any of those good times. You are no longer having great sex with them. You are no longer having great times with them. You are no longer having adventures with them that was like that was so light and happy and bringing so much joy. You were not having those anymore. Instead, what was happening is they were bringing you trauma. They were bringing you torture. You were feeling more tortured by them than feeling alive, right? So that's the reality. You're thinking, if I let go of them, I'm not going to have these good times anymore. I'm not going to have this amazing, wonderful physical relationship anymore. But ask yourself, how did you feel the last few times you were physical together? Probably really awful, would be my guess. You probably felt used. You probably felt like they weren't even really there. And it probably wasn't as good as it was at the beginning or middle or wherever it was. Just remember that these 4 reasons, I think, keep us from letting go. So I'll recap them real quick. You don't let go because you feel like you're going to miss out on your returns, right? On a bad investment. You think that, oh, this person's about to turn it around and they're about to become this wonderful person and I'm letting them go. Number 2 is someone else is going to reap the benefits of all I invested in this turkey, right? You're like, I spent all the blood, sweat, and tears on this guy or this girl. And now somebody's going to swoop in and they're going to be a perfect, wonderful mate to this new person, this new supply. And so it's a bit of jealousy. We don't want to let that go. But it's fake, remember, because the patterns are showing us they are not changing. Even all the work that you poured into them is not going to change them. It just doesn't change them. Number 3 is you feel like you're going to be alone. So you don't want to be alone. You're scared of being alone. You're like, no, I don't want to be by myself. They already have 2 or 3 people and a whole slew of a fan club and flying monkeys that are welcoming them. I'm going to be all by myself. But the reality is it is better to be by yourself and work on your inner strength and inner peace than to be tied to their crazy psycho world. You don't want to be tied to a psycho world that's going to just destroy you and continue to destroy you. Number 4 is you're going to be letting go of good times. You don't want to let go of good times. So you want to hold on to them. All these good things that we have had together, I want to hold on to them. But the reality is the narc has already checked out. The narc or the toxic ex has already discarded, checked out, moved onto another boat, onto another supply. And so they are not going to give you those good times and those deep, intimate moments anymore. It's gone. It's already gone. And you're thinking if you cling to them, you cling to this sinking ship, you're going to somehow get back to this whole, fulfilling, beautiful life that they faked with you. So you guys, those are the 4 reasons why we cannot or we don't let go. You guys, let me read some of these comments. We are coming up on our hour, but I'm going to let you guys wrap up a little bit, and I'm going to catch up on some of the comments here. CJ, good to see you. CJ says, they sell you a dream, play into everything you want, then poof, they are gone and give it to someone else. Yeah, they're selling this fake reality to somebody else, right? This illusion, actually, right? To somebody else. When you are angry and hurt, they laugh at you and say you are obsessed and rejected. Yeah. So that's the reality. That's what we're missing, you guys. Why? Right? Why would we miss that? Divar says, haha, I text myself too. That's one of my little things that I do to remind myself of things. I text myself. Rahel says, I leave notes on my phone. Yep. Yeah. Rahel says, only a demon-possessed person tells someone to take their own life. That's what I kind of think too. Like their soul is so dark that they're so detached from real life, from people, that they wish that on another person. Like no, that is such darkness. Diva R says, same, Rahel. I even take screenshots of really good YouTube comments. I can go back and review. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, and Rahel says, everything that happened to us will happen in different variations to the next supply. It does. That is just, that's how their life is. It's a pattern. They have this pattern of destruction and they just don't change. Excuse me, you guys. Measure Twice says, yes, that is truly evil to encourage suicide. It is. And I hope that anybody that's on this channel that's ever heard somebody say this to them or wish them to, I'm sorry, I can't even say it. It's just awful, right? To hurt themselves. If anyone's ever wanted you to hurt yourself, screw them. And if you need an image of me, an Oscar here, kicking them and saying, get the heck away from you, yeah, that's what we're doing. I will stand in between you guys so that there's no way they can push that onto you. Nothing gets me more fired up than bullies trying to hurt people. No. Rahel says, yeah, Diva R, what the heck is happening at NS channel? I can't watch anymore. I'm done. Oh, I don't even know what that is, you guys. Mike says, the ex-narc told me to kill myself all the time. Oh my gosh, too. Ignore and go, no contact. Diva, gee whiz. What the heck? I'm so sorry that you went through that. And I'm sorry that you guys might even have entertained that idea. Please don't ever entertain any of the idiot narcissist comments that have anything to do with hurting yourself. Screw that. Screw them. Just send it back to them. Like, the heck with this. You idiots and your flying monkeys can take all this crap with you. I'm so sorry. I just get so inflamed, right? Mike says, what is even more crazier it was on a narc awareness channel. What was on a narc awareness channel? The comments talking about go kill yourself, that type of crap. Right? I'm telling you, narcissists are getting onto these channels. I think I said this in my last, one of my last videos, that the narcissist thinks everybody else is a narcissist. I'm sorry, it still makes me laugh because, oh my gosh, it just boggles my mind. I just cannot even wrap my mind around that. But narcissists will get onto the narcissist awareness channels like this one and learn the terminology and everything that they see. They're going to turn it around so that they're now the victim and everybody else is the narcissist. Yeah, total. And then you can see it too, right? Because of the way they behave. They come out and they're just very destructive. They're still destructive. They may be the victim in their eyes, but they are so destructive and they want to destroy everybody around them. That's how you know, like, okay, time to back off. Rahel says, with the paranoia video straight up. Yeah, I hope he gets help. Yeah. Diva R says, yeah, I saw some of your comments on his videos, Rahel. I'm not sure what to think at this point. If he's struggling, I hope he gets help. Oh. Wow. Okay, Measure Twice says, I always encourage anyone stuck in a vicious push cycle with a narcissist to read all you can and watch YouTube videos about Narcissist and trauma, narcissistic abuse and trauma. I'm not sure. Oh, about narcissists and trauma bonds. I'm sorry. Knowledge is power. Yes. Yeah. Rahel says, I don't care what people think. I'm a straight shooter. Yes. Good for you, Rahel. So proud of you. Agriculturist says, when I told the ex-narc that he cannot speak with me like this, he asked if he could come around and slap my face, and hopefully then we'll be best friends. Later told me that was irony. What the heck? Crazy. What the heck? Yeah, I'm so glad you're away from that crazy person, agriculturist. So glad you're away from that horrible, terrible type of treatment. You do not deserve that at all. I'll measure twice is clarifying. Narcissists and trauma bonds is what we want to learn about. Okay. You guys, hey, gamer Christina, good to see you. You guys, Diva says, I had a coach on YouTube smearing me on her channel because I left her some constructive criticism on her video. Need to be careful who to watch. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have got to find this video. I had watched a crime show, and I'm way over right now, you guys, but I had watched a crime show about how the psycho narcissist, and he behaved like a narcissist. You would not believe how he completely fooled this psychologist. It's a woman, and if you guys have seen it, please send it to me. But because I'm trying to find it, I don't even remember where I'd watched it. But there's this psychologist, had her own practice, or I think she was a partner in this practice, and she met this guy on Tinder or something like that, and he was a counselor, like a child counselor. So of course, the whirlwind romance happened, and she found out he was a counselor, and I guess he needed, I don't know if he was working at the time, but she ended up hiring him into her practice. And since she wasn't the owner, but a partner of the practice, she couldn't just fire him either, I guess. I'm not quite sure why, but he completely faked loved her to the point where she was engaged to him. She said, yeah, she approved when he asked her to marry him. And then he started plotting to kill her. It's just absolutely crazy. So what my point is, narcissists can be counselors. Narcissists can be psychologists. Narcissists can also have channels on YouTube talking about narcissists. It's absolutely crazy, you guys. It's a bit scary out there. And maybe they're not full-blown narcissists, of course there's a spectrum. So I always want to give the benefit of the doubt, really, until I know more about the situation or the channel or the person or anything like that. So you guys, just be careful, though, is my point out there. Be careful who you listen to. Make sure that the advice you're getting is constructive. Make sure the advice you're getting is about improving yourself and not spreading more horrid, terrible karma out there. We don't need to do that. We want to bring blessings to people. Now, if you can get justice in a court of law, then go for it. Get justice. Do not enact justice on your own, like go out and take a life. I mean, good Lord, not that I think any of you guys would do something like that, but telling someone to commit suicide, what the heck, I'm sorry, I'm still pissed off about that. So anyway, you guys, yeah, you got to be so careful out there, what you're watching and the people. Okay, Rahel. Wow, I'm not watching him. He has a mental illness and he needs help. It's affecting me so. Yeah. So if you have to not look their way. Measure Twice says, just yesterday, an ex-boyfriend from high school contacted me after 32 years. Had a great chat. Then it dawned on me he may be a narcissist or at least be emotionally immature. Yeah, if they're emotionally immature, that's also not good. You don't jump into any relationship with them. Take it slow physically, take it slow emotionally. So don't get emotionally invested. Don't get physically invested. Just keep it light and friendly and like an acquaintance, right? Keep it there for a long time until you get to know the person. Diva says she can say what she likes. I know I'm not a narc. Wow. Okay. Yeah, narcissists tend to also turn it on you. Um, oh my gosh. Okay, Rahel, you guys are killing me here. Says, I saw that she made a whole video on you. Wow, you guys. Okay, I know, meaning, I'm sorry, I don't want to expose all of this, but you guys are saying it on here. Yeah, so someone made a video and oh my gosh, one of you guys, that's crazy. I know that you probably didn't mean anything she was saying. Oh, well, you guys, you know, I do wish you well. I wish you so much healing. I hope that we all learn how to be stronger, not to take criticism so hard, be able to let people's negativity and toxicity roll off of us. I mean, just totally roll off of us. And not just that, but like aim it back towards them. I know that doesn't sound very Christian of me, okay, yes, just get rid of it, I guess. But honestly, if they need to deal with it, if they need to deal with their toxicity and their immaturity and their abusiveness, they need to deal with it. They need to see that they need help. So I just like, I don't know if it's like real and it's not in reality, but I kind of just I push my hands over there and I'm like, go away. Whatever this negative crap is that you're trying to send to me, that you're trying to make me carry, the heck with it. I'm not taking it. I'm not holding it. I'm not going to deal with it. So you guys, blessings to all of you. I'm going to take off here. I just want to make sure I say goodbye to all of you and catch each one of you. Jeannie Parrish, good to see you. You said you keep getting sucked back in. Thank God I live 600 miles away from him. He keeps trying to get me to move, but I know deep down it'll be bad for me if I do. Jeannie, listen to that. It would be bad for you to get sucked back in. Don't move closer. Let it be. Mara Marie, hi. Yeah, narcs don't change, she said. Oh, wow. Mike says the narc is in Australia and you're in North Carolina. Wow, that's good. You know what? Distance. So good. So good. Trini says, mine is always on the verge of changing. It's never happened yet. He changes for a week and it's great. Then it's downward spirals. He blames me. So done. Exactly, you guys. Well, blessings to all of you. I hope that you are getting stronger. I hope that you're finding truth. I hope you're staying connected to truth. And don't forget that to be a problem solver instead of a crazy maker, okay? Do not engage in the crazy making. Just solve the problem. And remember to stay emotionally calm. Don't forget that. Crystal Jean, hey, good to see you. You were cleaning your floors. Was having problems at the beginning streaming for some reason. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Something was going on with my end of it, I think, with YouTube. So I had to start over. So I'm so glad you guys are here. So glad you guys stuck this out with me and stayed with me, even though at the beginning I had to just ditch that whole streaming and start over. Thank you so much for coming back. Blessings to all of you guys. I want you guys to take on the day and make it great. Don't forget that you have us here, you have support, you are loved, you are prayed for, and you're going to make it.